Hello and welcome to the year ahead spread. I wanted to do a card reading for the new year 2023, obviously, and it's already January the 9th, but I did not get to it earlier because I was sick and I was on the road traveling and stuff like that. Now I am settled, and I will do a 7 card spread for the key themes, or like the most important themes for us as a collective for the new year 2023. It's actually, maybe I will pull some additional cards, most probably clarifiers. But yeah, all in all, it will be 7 cards. And it's also the same spread that I do in personal readings. So if you feel like getting a personal reading with me, you can book that. You can send me a message and book one. Still until the end of January. I am already thinking about maybe offering the spread again in around the spring equinox, but I'm not sure about that yet. I'm thinking about it because the spring equinox is the start of the astrological new year, and also for me personally, it's like like it just is always like a nice time to set intentions because it's also like the time around my birthday. So it definitely is a new year for me on many levels. So yeah, I might bring them back in around like March 21st, but the 21st, but I'm not sure of that yet because it also depends on where I will be and all these things. I might also cut this video a little bit. It depends on, like if I take a long time shuffling or something like that, then I will cut the video a little bit. So just so you know. Or if I cough all the time, probably also gonna cut that out. All right, so I'm also going to use this tarot deck for the 7 card spread. It's called the Tarot of the Divine by Yoshi Yoshitani. I really love the deck. Most of all because, like, first of all, it's very beautifully designed, but also every tarot card is connected to a specific story, like a mythology, something from mythology, or a fairy tale, myths, and stuff like that. Mythology and myths are most probably the same thing. What does it say here? Inspired by deities, folklore, and fairy tales from around the world. So I really like that because you can really find additional information within these stories. So I might not get into all of these stories that are coming up, but most definitely in the one that will be the key theme for 2023. And I will also give you the names of the stories so you can do your own research if you want to. All right, so let's just see. I'm going to pull the cards now. Asking Spirit for giving us the information that we most need as a collective, especially the ones who will watch this reading, for guidance and advice on the new year 2023. The information that is most important for us in order for us to be in alignment with our highest good and the highest good of all. I'll shuffle one more time and then I will pull the cards. So the first card will be what we leave behind. So like kind of like the energy that we are getting out of that was like more present in the last year or the last months. The next card will be what is coming in, the energy that is coming in now, this new year. The key challenge this coming year. What will be the key challenge for the collective? Oh, that's interesting. This card already flipped, so I can see it, but I will not tell you. Then the key opportunity. What will be the key opportunity? The hidden concern. The hidden wisdom. That's interesting. So 2 cards jumped out. 1 is already flipped. And now for the key theme for 2023, for the collective, the key theme. Okay. All right. So what have we got here? Interesting. Underneath the deck is the Fool, which in this deck is the Little Mermaid, the story of the Little Mermaid. I will put that here. Yeah. All right, let's see. I will tell you all the cards. I will show you all the cards, and then I will take some time and get into the message, and then we will probably jump around. jump around. All right, first card, like the energy, what we leave behind. That's interesting. It's the sun. And in this depiction, it is connected to the sun god Ra, from ancient Egypt. Okay, so like this is what we are coming out of. Interesting. What is coming in is the King of Cups in reverse. It's also a very beautiful story. I don't know the name. I will tell you in a little bit. Yeah, this is like when it's like not flipped, it's in reverse. Now we pulled it in reverse, but this is like the depiction. Yeah, I really love that card. I think it's a very strong and powerful message and a very beautiful picture. The key challenge is the Star. Also very, very interesting position. The key opportunity. Oh, I love that. That's the Two of Cups. I also really love that depiction in this card. And I'm sorry, my nails are not... I will hide my nails. It's the Two of Cups. Yeah, I will also... It's the story of Gilgamesh. And what's the... I will tell you in a bit. So the Two of Cups is the key opportunity. Beautiful. And the hidden concern is the Moon. Oh, that's awesome. I love that. All right. And then the hidden wisdom. Oh, damn it. Ah, no, it flipped. Okay, it was like, it was lying like this. So it's the Lovers, actually. The Lovers. I will take it up the right way up, I think. But it was covered by the Justice card in reverse. So that's the hidden wisdom. I will get into what all of these cards mean later. And then we have, as the key theme, also very interesting, the Six of Cups. And that is the story of the Snow Queen. The Snow Queen? The Ice Queen? Like the story that Frozen is based on. It's like actually very different. But yeah, the Ice Queen or Snow Queen, I don't know. I know it in German is the Snow Queen. But I will read it to you later. Or I will read it out loud to you now. That might be a good idea. So, the sun, what we're getting out of. Sun god Ra, Egyptian deity. I will just read the little descriptions here that it says in the little guidebook. You can also get, if you want to read the whole stories, you have to buy this book or get this book, Beneath the Moon. There, like all the stories are in there. So for sun god Ra, the energy that we're leaving behind is the sun is success, birth, confidence after passing through difficult times. Egyptian sun god Ra proves everything is illuminated with optimism and enthusiasm for the path ahead. Why is this happening? All right, so the second card, the King of Cups. I will put all of these, the names of these stories also in the description box below. Where are the cups? There are the cups. Is The Boy and the Dragon Pearl from China, a Chinese legend. And the description says, the King of Cups was once a little boy, but has matured into a powerful dragon. He is kind, but fiercely protective of those he loves. He is connected to the deep, dark waters of the subconscious. He possesses great patience and wisdom. Sounds like a plan to me. So the star. The star is here. Ah, there it is. The star card is called like this. The story connected to the star card is called Sister Alyonushka and Brother Ivanushka. It's from Russia, a Russian fairy tale, and it says, "The star is a symbol of hope after a disaster, the need to remain positive after misfortune, to remember that things can get better again. It is staying calm and open to future possibilities, seeing your situation with open eyes, mind, and heart." All right, then we have the Two of Cups, which will be found around here. And the story is called Enkidu and Gilgamesh from Iraq, a Sumerian mythology. The Two of Cups is an ideal relationship that still faces difficulties. Gilgamesh was a tyrant until Enkidu was created for him, to be his equal in every way. Though their initial meeting was rocky, they came to love each other very much as opposites who complete each other. Well, that's a very interesting message already for the key opportunity. The Moon for the hidden concern. The Moon story is called Princess Kaguya. I think there's even a movie. I did not watch it yet. I wanted to watch it. I forgot from. I don't have but there's a movie around it. Princess Kaguya. I think like it's an animated movie. It's from Japan, a Japanese fairy tale. The moon is the subconscious and all its illusions, potential, pitfalls, and the possibility of self-deception. Here, two tanukis, shape-shifting raccoon-like animals, each stare at a different moon, though it is not clear which is the real one. I will show you the raccoons, just so you know what this card is talking about. There are like the little raccoons. There. This one is staring at the reflection of the moon in the water, and the other one is staring at the real moon. All right, and then we have two major arcana cards again. We have like a lot of major arcana cards. The sun, the moon, the star. I did not even see that yet. Wow, that's amazing. The sun, the moon, and the star. Justice and the lovers. That's really interesting. It's a really interesting spread. Okay, I will have to take a little time to get into that in a second, but now we will talk about the lovers. The lovers, of course, the lovers card is connected to the story of the Beauty and the Beast, as you can see, which I find also like very, very good match. It's actually from China. A Danish fairy tale from China? I'm confused. Anyways, this is like what the guidebook says. I will not question it for now. The Lover's card represents romance, opposites attracting, the duality and balance of carnality, physicality, and fire versus spirituality, emotions, and water. The pair emphasize the importance of communication and herald an important crossroads. So it's interesting that the Two of Cups and the Lovers are showing both up in this reading, and in this specific deck they also have very similar meanings, which is not always the case, I think. All right, and then the Justice card. The Justice card, the story connected to it is called Amheng Yosa. I will put it down below. From Korea, a Korean legend. Justice is power wielded with both intelligence and impartiality. Impartiality? It is making decisions with all of the facts and accepting the consequences of any choice made. It is punishment of the corrupt and promotion of the deserving. Super interesting reading. Wow. I'm actually very curious and excited to get more, like, deeper into it. And now then we have the Six of Cups. The Snow Queen from Denmark, a Danish fairy tale. The Six of Cups evokes a nostalgia for sweeter times. Kai and Gerda are best friends as children, but when Kai is struck with depression, he leaves with the Snow Queen. Through many adventures, Gerda saves him, but by then innocence is gone. That's also really interesting. So we already know that the key theme of the year. It's interesting. I will definitely pull a clarifier for that, because I think it can be it can speak of like, I'm very glad that we read the description because the Six of Cups usually speaks more of like getting maybe stuck in the past, or um the danger of getting stuck in the past. But in the description it says like, it talks about maturity, to mature into who we are, and it also like already, this card, like the King of Cups, also from the descriptions, so maybe that's why I read them, was also talking about maturity, right? So that's the energy that is coming in, but the King of Cups is reversed. So, and I see that not as a bad thing. It's just like, I see this as the beginning of that topic. So we are moving into maturity, into growth, into especially also in an emotional kind of sense. I'm sorry, by the way, for the quality of the camera. I know it's not a very good quality, but this is like the best option that I have right now. So please forgive me and give me money so I can buy a good camera. All right, so yeah, so like, this is like, in almost every kind of sense, I see this reading as that this year, like the theme for this year is an opportunity for us to grow, to really mature, and in a very like, and also like with an emphasis of doing that through connections or through relationships, but not reduced to partnerships or something like that, but to every relationship, and especially the ones with the people that we usually do not want to have relationships with. So like the other, right? And it's interesting because I'm almost like thinking that this is like, it feels almost like the spread for 2020 or 2021 or something, where I had the feeling that, like, we were really, really being encouraged or even forced to face our shadow within the other, right? Like a lot, especially in Germany, or at least in Germany, there were like a lot of people pointing fingers at each other, and from everybody believed something different, obviously. Or there were like two major sides, and of course there were also like a lot of people in between. But what most people focused on, and also what I think the press focused on, was like these two sides, and building opposites, and of course people from both sides were like just pointing fingers at the others, and saying like shaming them, actually. Shame and blame were like a big topic back then, and like talking about how the other people are making it wrong, and of course in opposition to us doing it right. And yeah, I don't want to say it's not so easy. I also had to learn that, by the way. Anyways, like for me, the Lover's card, especially in this deck, is very much talking about that. Very much talking about embracing your shadow, right? The beast can, of course, it can be seen as two different parties, but the beast can also be seen as the beast within ourselves. And to realize that, and to understand, like to see that, and this is like now getting a really, like, taking a bit of a serious turn. But I've been thinking about that for a long time now, like for all of the last 3 years, or like almost 3 years. It is vitally important for the future of us as a collective, to understand that every single person has the capability of doing bad things. Every single person has the potential to hurt others, and to do bad things. It does not mean that we will act on that, but we have to realize that we have the potential to do that. We have the potential within us to hurt others. And because only if we realize that, only if we see that, we are able to, I want to say, control that. to be aware, like only if we have awareness around that, we can be careful not to do that. Right? So, I mean, to me, that makes sense. But therefore, we really have to admit that. And most people don't want to do that, obviously. It's not a lot of fun to do that, right? So give me a second. I just want to get a little more quiet about this before I continue, because I don't want to get hung up on that topic, because I've been thinking about it for a long time. I'm dying to talk about it, but yeah, let's just, I want to focus on the message here. So I'm doing this bit by bit, and I just want to pull a clarifier for the sun card, for the like the energy that we leave behind. But for now, I see it as like more like being in an egotistical state, but getting more clear about, like, the sun is also like, like getting more centered, more to what is important for us, and getting more clear upon that. But there, it can also be of like, like a bit egotistical. For example, the sun is connected to Leo, and Leo in its like more negative expression can be very egotistical, very self-centered, and very like more prone to be a little, sorry, oh, my friend had said her birthday, can be prone to be a bit more focused on the superficial things, also like on the looks, like, like how to present oneself, but not so much on the things that are in depth and that are real and authentic. And I also have the feeling that this is like a year that is going to be like going to ask us to be more authentic. And at least for me, that is like, like really important, because like I am actually not interested in people who are superficial. And for example, I think there in the spiritual field, there are a lot of superficial people there, like walking around in a kaftan and pretending that they're super woke or something. And from my perspective, it does not work like that. I'm sorry, but like, be real. That's how. Just be real. Admit who you are and where you are at, and that's like the thing, right? That what I already said, like, is it's really about time in order to see where we are, where we actually are. Also, like, in order to really be in the now, we have to see where we are, to be really aware of that. And that also means to become aware of the things that we don't really want to see, the shadow aspects within us, and or all the different aspects within us. All right, so, and to integrate them. It's like there's a lot of shame around the ego also. Like, I'm still in a lot of spiritual, I don't know if I want to say community side, but a lot of shaming the ego, and I'm not on board with that. Because we have the ego for a reason. It's not about shaming the ego or letting it die, at least not in that kind of sense where, like, like to suppress it. That's not how from my perspective. Because everything I say in this video is most probably from my perspective. That's not how it works. The ego death is something, how I understand it for now, something different. Anyways, I will not get into that, but it's not an option to suppress the ego. That is not how it works. It's like to understand the ego, to see it, and to also like become so self-aware that we immediately see or understand when our ego is trying to pull us in a direction that is actually not in alignment with our soul. We need to, for me, it's like to make the ego the vessel, to help the ego to become the vessel for our soul, because our soul chose this expression. The ego is our expression, our identity in this life that we chose in this life in order to express and to do the things that we came here to do. All right, so it's like really no use, really no use to suppress that or to pretend it's not there. So yeah, so like And like in the spiritual field also, like, or like one, like from the, when you listen to the old masters or read old scriptures, like this saying of being in the now. You cannot be in the now if you're pretending to be somewhere else. Then you are not in the now. If you're pretending that you're better than you actually are, or that if you're pretending that you have no shadow. Some people actually do that. I'm like, really, I'm like, how can you even walk around in the spiritual field and be that I don't know, that illusioned. I'm really surprised by that. Anyways, like, people walk around and pretend that they, or say that they don't have an ego anymore. I find that, yeah, not very believable. And also, for me, it's not the point. It's not the point to get to a place where you don't have an ego anymore. It's about getting to a point where you understand and can see your ego, and be in alignment with it in a way where you are, like, your ego and your soul are traveling in the right, in the same direction. Okay, so like that's basically what I kind of like think. mm. So, and the sun is also interesting because I kind of have the feeling that we need to, this, in order to rise, you have to fade first, right? It's also like a phoenix card, maybe even. And I think this combination with these two cards kind of like speaks about that. You have to get into the depth in order to really rise again. And yeah, so like you have to really get into the depth in order to rise. And there is like a part in the story of the sun god Ra. I will just read the last caption of the book. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to. Maybe I will not read it, but I will read it silently and then tell you what it says. So the sun god is actually traveling through the sky by day, and then at night he will move through the underworld. So like day and night, right? So like in order for there's this song. I really love that song. It's from the soundtrack, or it's also on the soundtrack of the movie Drive. It's called. Anyways, it says the stars have to fade away to give a bright new day. So, and also like the sun has to fade before it can rise again. Okay, so like I have the feeling that this is like a process, and this is also calling us to dive deeper again. And this energy of the dragon with the pearl, the story, the pearl is like, like it's like the king of cups. And in this depiction, the pearl, I would say, is like our gifts, the things that we came here with, and that are and that we want to share, that we're here to share, that we are here to bring into the world. Like the pearl, the pearl that we, as the most prominent or the most important gift, actually all of our gifts and of our expressions, but, or you can also say our purpose. And that doesn't have to be a job or connected to a job, but it's like, like the thing that makes us unique and important, that makes our presence here on this planet at this time, in this identity, with this ego, important. And this year is like giving us the opportunity to really dive into that and to really find out about that, and not focus anymore too much on the superficial and what we want to look like, and what we, like what we think. Like most of the time we want to look a specific way, and it's mostly connected to what we think that others want from us, right? Like society wants us to do. And I mean, a lot of people say this, or like our family, or like our upbringing. These things run very, very deep. Even people who think that they are very self-aware, which like most of them are actually not. I'm sorry, but this is like really what I think. Like a lot of people are, like just because you're intelligent does not automatically mean that you're self-aware. or self-conscious. That's work, that's serious work that you have to do and to commit every day. Okay, so that is not something that you're, oh. I met a guy actually last year, and we were talking, and he said something, and I was like, oh, maybe that's like a shadow aspect of yourself. Maybe you should look at that again, or it would be a good idea to look at that. And he was like, I don't think I have shadow anymore. And I was like, what? I was just straight up laughing out loud, because I mean that, you know, so just because you did 2 years of shadow work does not mean that you don't have shadow anymore. That's a very naive way of looking at things. And again, it's not bad to have shadow. It's normal. It's completely normal. It's also not bad to have an ego. That's normal. It has a purpose. It serves a purpose. It is, however, very important to become aware of those things and to try our best, you know, like, and there's this saying in the spiritual world, I don't know who says it, but like one of the most important sentences is know thyself. Know thyself. And you know, like, knowing ourselves, it's actually not really possible. All right, so we can try. So it's like more about like trying to see ourselves as best as possible, as clearly as possible, and to catch ourselves when we actually see, oh, this is like coming from an egotistical or even narcissistic kind of behavior, or like, you know, like, we learn how to get our needs met, sometimes through manipulation, because if our needs, we have our needs for a reason, we need those things, or like, not things, but you know, like touch or attention or things like that. So, and if we don't learn that we can like ask for those needs, and then they are like fulfilled, then we learn to fulfill those needs, or get those needs fulfilled in different kind of ways. For example, manipulation. And it does not always have to be manipulation in an evil kind of sense, yeah, or in a like really evil, like getting into a, I don't know, to want to manipulate people consciously for and trying to make them do things. But it's like, it's a very subtle tendency. I will not get into that too much right now. It's a big topic. I'm talking about a lot of things here that are, you know, like, that deserve their own 1 hour video. But yeah, so like, it's very important. And we have the star card here again. So that's like the key challenge. The key challenge is the star card. And the star card speaks of, especially like in this picture, it's like a naked woman. And it speaks of absolute authenticity, to be completely naked and vulnerable and in tune with your with yourself, in tune with your soul, and in tune with yourself, and really connected to connected to your soul, to your soul star, to who you came here to be, the purity of the person you came here to be. And that can scare us. Actually, most people are very scared about that, even if they are not aware of that. But most people are very, very scared of that. I'm scared. I can tell you that. And I'm like, you know, like, I've been practicing that. I've been getting into that topic for a few years now. And still, it's very scary, because when we are really vulnerable, we are very afraid. Like, there comes the fear with like being attacked, maybe, or excluded. That is like a very serious thing, and also brings us to the next cards, the key opportunity, the 2 of Cups, and the key, no, the hidden wisdom, the Lovers. Let me sink into that for a second. There comes like a lot of energy with that. It can be very scary to allow ourselves to be real and who we truly are in connection with others. Actually, you can, like everyone can just do this. If you don't believe me, you can just do this as an exercise, or yeah, like a little exercise to close your eyes and try like to think about something that you feel very vulnerable about, but that is like something that is true about you. It can be like a secret that you don't want to share with people. It can be but it can also be something like a character trait that you feel ashamed of, or something like that. Just think of something that brings that brings that is true about you, but that brings the feelings of shame, blame, and fear around being excluded. Those are very heavy topics, and they have been triggered within the last 2 years for sure in most people. But yeah, like just think about that, and then imagine yourself sharing this with a person. You can imagine yourself sharing it with someone you really love and like and that you trust, or you can like try to envision yourself like sharing this with like me, like in a video. I'm not sharing these vulnerable things right now. Maybe I will later. Let's see. But like just, and then see what comes up. And for most people there will be a lot of fear around that, like seriously afraid. For me, that there's like fear for sure. I'm very afraid of some things, or like to show myself vulnerable, because of course there's like there's like, for most of us there's trauma around that. Look at our society. It does not even have to come from our family, or like that we have been treated very badly or something. Our whole society is built around that concept of shaming and blaming and pointing fingers at others in order to not be like to say, I am in the right, I am a good person, because these people are doing it wrong and those people are bad people. But so, and I'm doing it differently, and that means I'm doing it right. Very simple concept, very flawed. Not healthy at all, but this is like the society most of us grew up in. Like in school or something. It does not have to be the case that you maybe you actually have been mobbed or something. But is that the English word even, like yeah, like really put down? I think there's a different word. I'm sorry, I can't find it right now. Anyways, like does not have to mean that you have been like really like been made a real victim of violence or something like that. This can be very subtle, right? Or even, and it runs so deep because it's so normal. It is so normal for us to do these things on a certain level that we integrated that as normality, so we don't even realize it when it happens to us sometimes, or when we ourselves are doing that to others. So I would say I want to say, I will get into the reading again, but I want to say that this is like one of the most important things we need to work on as a society, as a collective now. We need to work on that now, because we are actually, if we don't do this, we are actually hurting others and ourselves, especially on the long run, if we don't work on that, if we don't gain awareness of that. It's super important. And just like, I will get into the reading again, I'm sorry. Somehow I guess this is like, and there's the Lover's card again. This is super important for me. So I guess I'm just like me. My ego is like, these cards could mean, can mean something in that direction. So I'm just hopping in and get out the message. But all right, so what did I want to say? Especially the people who think that they don't have that problem, those are the first in line. All right, so like those, if you think that you don't have a problem in that area, you really really need to look at that again. Because honestly, like most people have, like everyone has an issue with that. Let's just say everyone, because we all do. And I'm really trying to be very aware of that. I'm doing a lot of work in that area, but still I do have shadow. And let's just say, like, this is like a sentence that came to me a few days ago. It's like, the biggest shadow is always the one you can't see. And we all have shadow. We all have shadow. And now I'm just trying to scare you. No, I'm not trying to scare you. It's normal. It's normal. There's nothing to be ashamed about or anything. And it's not easy always to see that. But actually, the easiest way to gain awareness about your shadow is through other people, through our connections. That doesn't mean that other people are always in the right or something, like if they're pointing out stuff in you or something, can mean that, of course, but if you get triggered or if you get angry or anything, which is the same thing actually, then it most definitely means that there's something in there. So it does not necessarily mean that they are right, but they are still showing you something that you need to look at within yourself. All right, so now I will I did not expect that all to come up. I will sum it up now a bit and get this a little more on a personal level. That was actually the plan. I thought it would be a little more, I mean, for the collective, but more like personally for the people who will watch this. But let's see. All right, I will get back into that again. I will take a second. All right, so I'm just being drawn to the star card again. So like the key challenge is to be tender with ourselves, to be gentle with ourselves, to embrace our vulnerability, to embrace the aspects that we are afraid of, to embrace our authentic being. I think I said it in the other reading, the year ahead reading that I did, where it's like, what was it? Where it's like to start to realize that the things that we might have been shamed for, the qualities within ourselves or within our characters that we have been shamed for, are actually also strengths. There's always like an upside and a downside to everything, actually, to also like to character traits or to archetypes or something. There's always a downside. You can go into the expression of a positive expression, or you can, like what I said about the Leo energy before. The negative traits of the Leo is like egotistical behavior, very superstitious, what did I say? Not superstitious. I forgot the word. Like, but yeah, like focusing on things that are not real. Like pretense, playing a game of pretense in order to look good. But all the qualities that we have, and even if they have been shamed and other people are like really, really maybe criticizing them or criticizing us for having those qualities, they also always have a positive trait or a positive side for them. And it's really, really about time to embrace, to see that, to flip our focus on that, and to see those positive traits and to embrace all of us, to embrace all of those traits. It's really, really important. But it will also be a challenge because it will make us feel authentic, yes, but also very vulnerable. And so like these two go very well together. So to say it again, this is like the key challenge and this is the key opportunity. So the key opportunity is also to really embrace the people that are being sent our way this year. And of course, you don't have to literally embrace everybody, especially if you don't want to. Have good boundaries, but see everyone and everything and every group, or if it's like like an opposing group to like that has different opinion than the group that you're joining out of whatever reason, maybe it's a political thing or whatever, but also like personally embrace the opportunity that these people are giving you for you to become more of who you really are, more authentic, and to maybe even practice to be vulnerable. And this is like very beautiful because like in this card, I'm actually going to get into the story a bit because I will get into the story. Give me a second. All right, so I'm going through the story, and it's interesting because it's the story of Gilgamesh, and he was a great king, and he has like the subline is that there was like there was no one equal to him, no one that was able uh, to meet him with the same kind of energy or the same kind of energy level, I should say it like that, or yeah. So the people that match our energy level might also be um, our challenges in some kind of way, right? They will also challenge us because they're equal in strength. And of course, you don't have to take it so literally, but they, like you will, the people that you that hold the deepest treasure for you are also the people that it's not necessarily easy with them, because they will challenge you to rise into your true self. They will challenge you. Well, I'm getting a little afraid, but in a positive way, an exciting kind of way. They will challenge you to rise and to step up into your power. And of course, that's awesome, because I mean that is actually, I think, like what we all need. Like like the partnerships that want to see us shine, and like help us and push us to become more of who we truly are, to step more into our power, to step more into our light, into our true light. And it was like, let's also see the starlight and the sunlight, and we will get to the moon in a bit. Yeah, so like there is like a challenge within that, but it's also like that's also like the greatest opportunity, and it comes from being authentic. And they might even be, like maybe our biggest opportunity this year will be to, I will say it's like a challenge and an opportunity, or a challenge within the biggest opportunity is to evolve through our partnerships and through the people who are being sent our way, and to rise into our true power and to rise into our authenticity, or our authentic self. All right, this reading is like very long, but that's okay, I guess. All right, let's tap into the next card. So that's the hidden concern, and it's the moon card. It's like, it talks about also like the story. I might get into that in a bit, but yeah, as far as I remembered. But it talks about, so like the hidden concern is to try to not allow this process of becoming completely authentic and really stepping into who we truly are, because out of fear that we lose the things that we have, and especially lose the connections that we have, losing the groups that we or the environment, or the connections that we live in right now, and that give us, of course, a sense of stability, right? But it says, remember who you really are. Be true to who you really are. Also, like, I was just watching a reading earlier, and there was like this. It's funny, yeah, because of the full card. I already showed it to you. So, like the Little Mermaid, she has a fishtail. She doesn't have legs, and when she, I mean, it may be a bit difficult in this story, but when she tried to be someone that she's not, she got hurt pretty badly. Actually, in the end, I think she dies in the true story, not in Ariel, or what's it called, the Little Mermaid. Ariel, I think it's her name in English. I mean, I know it in German. It's the same, I guess. I will cut this part. So be true to who you are. Be true to who you are, and don't be afraid. And I will look up the story from the Princess Kaguya, because I think it is about that. It's like a very interesting story, actually. Maybe I will watch the movie tonight, because I really want to. That's always a good reason. All right, so the story is more or less that this Princess Kaguya, she was found by a woodcutter and he, like when she was a baby, and he raised her with his wife, and but when she was an adult, um, she confessed that she was actually coming from the moon, and that she was a princess of the moon, I think, and that now she had to make a decision either to stay on Earth and to forget about don't forget. I don't know, either to go to back to the moon and forget about her life on Earth, or to stay on Earth. So she, yeah, could make that decision. But because she chose to go with her real folk back to the moon, to the moon and back, um, in order, yeah, like I don't know why she chose that, but she did. So that is kind of like the and she forgot about her life on Earth actually also. So I'm not saying that you have to forget all about your life before up to this moment, but it's important to remember who you are and who you truly belong to. And it was difficult for her to make that decision because, of course, she loved her earthly parents and what they did for her and all that. But at some point, maybe you don't, maybe you don't even really have to give all of that up, but in order for us to be truly authentic, I mean, we will be faced with choice points where we can decide, do we want to go with our true identity, with our true purpose, with our true soul's calling, or do we want to stay connected to the people that we grew accustomed to, whatever that means, whatever that those people are, but never really shine, never really stepping into our true authenticity. And that is also the hidden wisdom. Let me get into it for a second, actually, because there's something coming. So the hidden wisdom is to not be afraid of that process, okay? So not to, or the hidden wisdom is to understand that as soon as you become completely aligned, the lovers talk a lot about alignment with your true values, to be true to your true values. And because we compromise, right? We compromise all the time. It's also nothing to be ashamed of or something, but it's very good and important to get an understanding of it in order to stop it. For the most part, like as best as possible. So like the lovers are talking about true alignment, to like this process of getting to know oneself and to really move into balance between our shadow aspects and our soul, to really integrate our shadow aspects, or to integrate our ego as part of ourselves, but also to really like the ego is like a servant to the soul in a way. Actually they are doing it together, but I think you probably can say it more like that the ego is starting to serve the soul's purpose, the soul's wisdom, and therefore spirit or God or whatever you want to call it. So like the highest good, to serve the highest good, and not just like your self-righteous good. So if you are in alignment with that, justice will be served. Everything will be fine. Everything will be fine. You will not be left out alone. You will not be excluded. Might be excluded from one society or from one community or something, but you will find the community that is actually in alignment with who you truly are and is supporting who you are meant to be. I think that's like some really deep shit here. It's just like, to me, it's like, wow, this is like, yeah, to me, that's really deep and also exciting. But yeah, I mean, if that's the year 2023, then, well, let's ride, let's roll, let's rock and roll, because this is going to be a very important year for us. And it won't be easy, but we will make it through. And to really remember that, and now I have like the Knight of Cups here. And the Knight of Cups to me also speaks a lot about the Knights of the Grail, the Holy Grail, and to carry the true essence of our soul and to bring that as a gift into the world. We are gifted with what we want to gift the world with. And that is, like, that's like bringing also in balance. That's like an act of balance. What we are gifted with gifts ourselves, like we ourselves are gifted, but we are also gifting the world with that. So, and the Knights of the Holy Grail, they are going on a trip. To break it down, they are going on a quest, and it's not easy. But if they are true to themselves and follow their heart, they are making it. Right? They will make it, I guess. I did not read up on the stories, but I hope so, and that's my plan. All right, I think that's okay. And it's also interesting, in this picture, like it's an interesting Six of Cups, because when I talking about gifts, right? And this person, like this, I think that is like Kai is gifting or giving flowers in a cup. That might be a thing for 2023, flowers in a cup. No. Like to his friend Gerda. So it's also like speaking about this exchange of gifts, and others, like to see the gift that others are giving to us, and not only the real like presents, even though that's nice, but like also presents, and also like like gifts as in support and stuff, but also the gift of opportunity to rise into who we truly are and to become more authentic and to really step into that, and to in the end become the King of Cups. The King of Cups is the one who is who really owns his gifts or their gifts, and is able to the King of Cups, they are a person that integrated their gift in the most harmonious and positive kind of way. So they are completely in balance with that. Also, the King of Cups came up in the other reading that I did, like what did I do? Like the video where I talk about the energies. I tapped into the energies for 2023. I always want to say 2022 because it's such a nice number. Well, anyways, all right. So yeah, I said that that's a good idea to get into the end of this reading, because I guess it's long enough. I will get into the story of the Six of Cups. So the Snow Queen, 53. And that's interesting because it is actually talking about a quest and friendship and people who love us and really know us, reminding us of who we truly are. So let's get into it. I will read through it and then tell you what I just read. Because I don't think it's a problem to read small passages, but I don't feel comfortable with reading the whole book. Or maybe it's okay. I'm not sure. Maybe I just read a few sentences. I guess it's okay. So they are like once upon a time there were two children, Greta and Kai, who were the very best of friends. So they lived next to each other, they did everything, they grew up together and were like the best of friends. And then one day the devil's mirror shattered and tiny pieces flew across the earth, and one piece landed in Kai's eye. And the devil's mirror, of course, is a metaphor for our ego, right? And he grew cold. Kai grew cold and very egotistical. He wasn't able to see the beauty around him anymore, to see the beauty in the small things and in his friendship and all that. And he actually became cruel. So he was blinded by, he had something in his eye, right? It's also like a metaphor for not seeing something correctly, or like being blindsided and blinded in a way. Yeah. All right. So the Snow Queen, like the Snow Queen took him. She was like she offered him to come with her, and he left with her. And that's also interesting. The queen kissed him twice, once to make him immune to the cold, and once to cause him to forget Greta. So that's also like very interesting metaphor. I will most probably not get into that too deeply, but I will share it with you so you can. um, so a kiss, of course, is also like some kind of gift that makes you, and in this kind of sense, it's also like the like what is it? What is it? It's like to yeah, blindside the ego in this kind of way. You know, like you're getting something, or you're being promised something. If you want to make a deal with the devil, then you need to listen to your ego that's being attracted to something that's being offered you. Okay, so that is like, and then following on that and saying yes, okay, I want that. That sounds like a plan. So that's like the first kiss, and the second kiss is to make it even more, maybe in a way, in order to forget who you really are, to keep it distracted from what is actually important for you. All right, then Greta gets on a quest. Where's my grail, dude? It's gone. I don't know what I did with it. Put it somewhere. Anyways, like the it's gone. You saw it. The night of the Grail. So she's going on a quest in order to save or to find Kai. And on this quest, I think I will not get into all of that. So she gets into different adventures, and is like also being trapped, and it's also interesting. She asked an old woman for directions, but was trapped in her garden until the roses helped set her free. Roses are a very, very important spiritual symbol. Roses have thorns. There's also Mary walking through a forest of thorns, or roses, or thorns and roses. So I will not get into that symbolism right now, but it's a very important and interesting symbol. Very important, actually. Also as a symbol for a quest, you have to get through, or to conquer. That's not the right word. Anyways, I will leave it with that. Anyway, she makes her way to the castle, which was made by ice and surrounded by snowflakes, and she finds Kai next to the throne. And Greta hugs him, and then she starts to cry, and her tears are melting the mirror that the mirror shard in Kai's heart. It's not in his eye, it's in his heart. Actually, I'm sorry, I overflew that. So the mirror, the piece of the devil's mirror came into his heart, not his eye. Maybe also in his eye. And then he wakes up again, and he can feel his emotion again, and he can feel his heart again, because, and of course through love, right, through the love of his friend. So and then he remembered Greta, and the two danced and rejoiced, and hand in hand they began the long journey home with the aid of the reindeer, the Sami woman, and the robber girl. So you have to read up on that story on your own. I think it's actually from, not Christian Morgenstern, what is his name? From Denmark. Also, the Little Mermaid is of his feather, I think. It doesn't come to me right now. I don't know why. Anyways, you can read up on that story yourself. But yeah, it's like, this is like I think like the subline of this whole reading, like how we grow through others. I already said everything, I think. How we grow how we are growing through others, and that others actually can lead, like this is saying, we are guiding each other home. We are guiding each other home. And that is like the hidden wisdom, the key theme, and the key opportunity this year to see the growth potential for ourselves within the people that we meet. Let me see if there's a last something to say. Okay, so like the last message that I'm getting is a message about alchemy, alchemization, transmutation through connection. To see, trying to see all of our connections, no matter if they make us comfortable or uncomfortable, as an opportunity for alchemy, for alchemization and transmutation within ourselves, like through transmuting the pain that is still stuck in our bodies and alchemize into our highest expressions. And even I think like also like maybe not for everyone, for some of us, or there's like just a wisdom coming in about tantra and tantric practices. And tantra, as far as I understand, I never really got into it, but is most of the like this card symbolizes that to me, quite frankly, like connection. It's true connections, to really see each other as for who we truly are, to see each other in a very vulnerable kind of way. It's true connection, true intimacy. And that is the starting point, right? And then you can get into sexual things and stuff. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that here. but not before you are able to, before you understood what true intimacy is. And that is true intimacy, to be really authentic with one another. And then if you can do this, that starts off an incredible alchemizing process. I actually did join some events that were based on authentic relating, and yeah, this like true intimacy. It's been a long time ago, like 4 or 5 years or something. I would love to do that again, just because I'm traveling all the time. It somehow didn't happen. But I can only, if you have that in your area, I can highly recommend that. You will change like this. It's like, that's like the most potent trauma work you can do. Maybe not the most potent, but one of the most potent things. Like, because if you are able to be seen truly by another person, that will kick you off to to authenticity, to coming into yourself, and that will trigger all your stuff, and it will just like like a mask falling away. So yeah, all right. I think I said everything. All right. So that was like different than what I thought. This is what also like what a personal reading might look like for you, with your key theme, your key challenge, your key opportunity, the thing that you are leaving behind, the thing that's coming in, the energy that is coming in, the thing that you are starting to get into, and of course the hidden or the concerns and the challenges that are coming with this topic. So if you're interested in that, just reach out to me and book your personalized personal New Year 2023 tarot spread. And other than that, I really hope that you enjoyed this message. It was really interesting. I will definitely rewatch that. And you can follow me on Instagram. You can check out all my other things that I do. I do voice alchemy sessions, sound healing sessions in group scenarios, tarot readings, intuitive readings, healing sessions. So just FYI. And you can just reach out to me. I also, of course, I'm always looking forward to comments. If you have like something interesting to say or to add about that, I would be very curious. Um, and yeah, I think that's it. So thank you very much for watching. I wish you all an amazing New Year 2023. And yeah, I'm really curious about how this all will go. And I wish you all the luck in the world. And yeah, bye bye.